Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the showdown between the Tomb Kings and the Skaven. It's going to be Ark in the Black on his evil cackling chariot facing off against Throt the Unclean, and today we are setting out to find out if artillery is good in domination mode. So we haven't had much of a chance to kind of explore this previous to the Immortal Empires. We obviously had the Cathay artillery, but Cathay is a faction that is very flawed in many other ways, so it kind of didn't allow their artillery to really shine. And then, of course, we also had, Kislev, which had Little Grom, but I do think that on some maps, in some matchups, that artillery is going to be very good, especially against factions like Skaven and these undead factions that like to swarm with cheap units, right? Screaming Meme Catapults are good for a multitude of reasons. Firstly, they do magic damage, so against any of the demons, they're going to be able to break them. On top of that, they also do discourage leadership. So when units are broken off an objective, they actually lose their capture weight. So I've had situations with these catapults where they can really turn the tide of a skirmish or a battle with the leadership break on the points. So we're going balls deep today to really try and find out. We have 4 of these. We got 4 Screaming Skull Catapults. We have Tomb Guard, Kepler Guard on the side, and a couple Nehekar Warriors to go press the side point. And Ark in the Black is going to be our lord. He's very, very good. Cetra is honestly good in domination too. I really like Cetra in matchups where you need like magic damage on a stick, and he can just roll around on his Chariot of the Gods and just take things out, which is pretty cool. Now for the Rat Army, it's going to be somewhat of a Vermintide. We have Clan Rats into the Sunset, backed up by a Warlock Engineer with the Crack's Call. Apparently this just does a shit ton of damage and one-shots things. And there's going to be a couple Jezzails. We got 2 Jezzails. We got some Ogres. A more well-rounded Skaven army than some of the Clan Rat-based armies we've seen. But, I mean, if they came in here with just Clan Rats, like I'm talking the build you guys saw against the Vampire Counts, they would probably just get annihilated by the Catapults. They would have, like, no way of getting back here because the Tomb Kings are one of the better factions at defending their artillery. They have really cheap, cost-effective horsemen. They have carrying if need be. And yeah, they're just very, very responsive, honestly. I think that Tomb Kings of all the old world factions are probably one of the better ones. I would also say the same thing about Skaven. I think that Skaven are a top-tier faction in the hands of, folks who are going to be really developing and learning with them and getting their reps in. I would say Tomb Kings are probably a little bit easier to play than Skaven just because they're undead and they have these unbreakable units that are cost-effective, like Tomb Guard and whatnot. But Skaven certainly a little bit harder to play, but can be an absolute terror depending on the build. So this is a match against certainly a very strong player. So you guys are going to be getting a cool inclination as to how these catapults work. So we got the Vixren's Death Squad coming in. Now, if these guys are able to slip past my defenses and get on my catapults, I'm going to be in really, really bad shape. So here comes the Vixren's boys, going to be screaming across the objective and probably using their smoke bombs to cut up and under and go around my units for the ambush. So yeah, Skaven certainly have some tools here. Throt the Unclean looking like he wants to move in there, and the poor Tomb Guard getting nailed by Jezzails, which are actually pretty good against them. You can see their shields have been put down to bronze because of the shield breaker, so that's pretty cool, right? Whereas these ones do have these silver shields, and they're taking damage, and I don't have too many ways to get to them. I could move my catapults up after them, but if I move my catapults up too far, what's going to happen is they're going to be in too vulnerable of a position. I won't be able to protect them too easy. It certainly takes some, I guess, trigger discipline is what you could say here, as we do have these Screaming Skull Catapults trying to fan out. I'm putting them in like the 4 corners of my deployment zone so I can really, poke any of the objectives I want to. So obviously, one of the best things that Tomb Kings have against large threats is going to be Sepulchral Stalkers. These things are going to be able to just muscle Throt off objectives and really, really do some nice work. And we just drop a little bit of a Spirit Leech. You can see the Haggard Necromancer Claw going to be grabbing him and doing a little bit of damage. He does regenerate, but I was like, screw it. Let's just do it. Don't know if it was worth the magic. And you can see Arkin is going to be getting shot at by the Jezzails, but I was juking that, and A-okay. Now down here on 3, we do have the Tomb Guard as well as the Kepler Guard. That's going to be a tough position to break. I used some carrying to kind of scout into the bushes to kind of see what my opponent was up to. In the meantime, we do have our flank going as well, so I saw that he had the Clan Rats. He's got double Death Runner though, check this out. So the Vixrens are like trying to find a way through, but I actually sealed the breach, and guys, I had no idea that these rats were here. I had absolutely no idea. But he's very meticulous. You can see he's just like waiting for me to pull back. Truly a Clan Eshon assassin here, and probably will be able to kind of find an opening on the way through. Tomb Guard getting beat up. Rats haven't really pulled the trigger on the objectives. They're going to be forced to attack here in a minute. And I kind of gave up with pushing this side point after I saw some of the Vixren's Death Guard and these other elite units. And still my catapults have not begun to shoot yet. I haven't been able to really get good opportunities. We did get one shot on the Clan Rats here, and you can see the damage is very, very good. I think that Screaming Skull Catapults are probably one of the better artillery pieces in the game. For only 700, they bring a ton of utility to the Tomb Kings and give you good positional control. The fact that they have that leadership route and they don't need great line of sight really is a huge boon. So shooting in, a little bit of damage going in, but the Rats are going to pull the trigger and now move into the middle. So Tomb Guard and Tomb Guard getting ready. Throt is here, and we do also have the Sepulchral Stalkers sitting in the back waiting to shoot. But look at this, the sneaky rats, dude. Oh my god, the Vixrans are going to be moving in. I do actually think I discovered them right here. Yeah, so your hidden units are revealed. Mine are, but so too are his. So at this point, I did see the Stalkers, and I was like, oh god, I don't really have anything here. But thankfully, I just parked one Nehekar Horseman behind the objective, and we summon another one in, and we're going to be getting the dreaded sandwich. Now, Stalker's going to move up to fight Throt in melee. Wanted to get their capture weight on the objective, or maybe they're going to be shooting from downtown, not sure. Vixrans are going to have a pretty bad time. Nehekar Horsemen, they don't hit soft. They have 36 weapon strength, so they hit pretty hard. We're able to get a big charge, and then we also surround the Vixrans. So they're going to get pretty much annihilated here with our little cav play. We're able to butter their bread, and we also have another unit of Death Runners waiting in the bushes, waiting to pop out. But that was a huge clear right there. Now, Crack's Call going down does melt my Tomb Guard. There's so many spells that are like undiscovered, man, in this game mode that are just really, really good. But look at Throt getting absolutely dunked on by the Sepulchral Stalkers. I was wondering what happened to him in the game here, but he just gets wrecked. And the Catapults from downtown, the Screaming Skull Catapults, are going to be really putting a ton of hurt on the Skaven. Moving here into the Plague Monks, surpassing their physical resist, also hitting some of the Clan Rats, and those guys just get blasted off the objective. So again, you can see the utility of this concaved artillery. So Throt is not dead. He's running towards the back of the map. Any pressure on the side. It looks like some Jezzails are sitting up in the trees, kind of sniping a little bit. And I did get my two Kepra Guard down here, my two Nehekar Warriors to go after the Clan Rats, and it looks like we're going to be getting our paws on that objective. So that's going to be very, very tough for this Skaven to kind of hold on to. Meanwhile, Ark in the Black going to be re-engaging in the center with these Sepulchral Stalkers who've gotten their halberds out. And this is what's really nice about these things. Dual purpose, right? They get in there with their halberds. They have decent capture weight. I believe they're in the Monsters Infantry tier, which isn't terrible. It's not like amazing, but they can certainly, tilt the tides of things. But this is the problem. Skaven are really good at getting objectives. They're able to throw their Clan Rats on there. Not too many Skaven slaves, but look at the bombardment coming in, guys. It's brutal. And even if it doesn't do good damage against the Ogres, it also breaks the leadership, and they lose their capture weight from their routing off objectives here. Ark in the Black going to be casting some debuffs on them. We do get a Spirit Leech on the Ogres, trying to push them off. While Tomb Guard are going to be moving up onto the capture point, but really the Skaven are kind of running out of steam. At this point, the value lead was pretty substantial. It looks like back here we do see your boy Throt moving in, and he's going to be pretty nice for helping to clear off these guys. And I think some Plague Monks are coming over. So Plague Monks do defeat Nehekar Warriors in a vacuum. They have better stats and are just a little bit more resilient with their physical resist, but they also cost like 200 more. So capture weight is still in our favor, but the Tomb King should be able to secure that. But in the meantime, the middle is looking very, very dicey. Pretty much any Clan Rats that are coming in here are just like immediately tanking on leadership, like -12. They're like, screw this shit, I'm going home, even though there's 100 of us. And it's a really good stacking because all of the undead units like typically cost fear as a base, which lowers leadership. And then on top of that, the Catapults are going to be lowering their leadership by another 8. So it's very, very nasty. And immediately you can see the huge turning of the tide, right? The Rats had a ton of capture weight, but just like that, they're buckling off the objective. We get some Warp Grinders in here. And I do use my Ushapti Summon to try and stop up the Rats and really make sure I can get my clutches on this objective. Haven't been able to get the back, but yeah, Ushapti are another good unit. Like, Tomb Kings have so many ways they can play in Domination mode, which is really exciting. Like, you could go with an all-out Tomb King Nehekar Warrior, Ushapti Rush, and just try and like blast the Skaven. You can go for an artillery build, you can go for a construct build using like big, War Sphinxes and things like that. And typically, I think it's going to be matchup dependent depending on what you want to do. But, I think like a core of Tomb Guard mixed with whatever else you want is going to be very good. So here comes Throt. He's going to be trying to re-wrestle the middle. Back objective is going to my Tomb Kings as well, the Nehekar Warriors that we're holding. And that is going to be GG well played as the Skaven do get pushed off that objective. So, yeah, crazy, crazy stuff. And, I think artillery can be good in Domination. I had a game which will be going up on the channel soonish where Houseplant. So this was against Platypus. I played some games with Houseplant. And he crumped me with Empire using Hellstorm rocket batteries. And I was playing one of the demon factions. It might have been Khorne or Nurgle or something. So yeah, in some situations, like, it's really good here. Because Skaven are going to have a hard time getting to artillery on maps like Death's Pass. You see he had to use, like, Death Runners. Wolf Rats aren't going to have a good time because my Horsemen can just intercept them and shut them down. So yeah, there's so much, like, untapped potential in Magic as well. Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Magic that was good in Warhammer 2, like, might not be good here. Whereas, like, Magic that's more impactful at just punching infantry is going to carry a lot more weight for the objective play. So yeah, weird stuff. I mean, Crack's Call apparently is good. Comet of Cassandora is insanely good. I've been getting punished by that. I had to build another replay I'll be showing you soon. I don't want to spoil it. You guys will see. All right, take care of yourselves, my friends. Ark in the Black value. You can see not a ton of value on these, but they did push the Skaven off. Kepra Guard just kind of sat on the objectives, and the Sepulchral Stalkers are just so good. I'm so happy that they're good in meta. I think they're going to be picked quite often. Poor Death Runners didn't quite get in there, and that was really the turning of the tide. he had, 2,000-3,000 invested in Death Runners, and they didn't give any return whatsoever. They just got annihilated. So I think that was the big turning of the tide. GG, well played. See you guys next time, and that is it for today.